Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Lakers Lens podcast, episode 10, week 10. We made it 10 weeks, folks. I am your host, Matt Hollenbeck, joined by my co-host, who's returned from his break. He had to do some moving stuff. What's your name again?
My name's Max Arquilla. You probably see me on Twitter all the time. Mm-hmm. I've been very active, even though I've been moving in, just moving in with the girl. So it's been a process, but it's an exciting process, and still been keeping up with all the Lakers news. So I'm excited to talk about it.
You know what that reminded me of is, like, you know when players get traded like multiple times in a season, do they buy a house? Like,
I think about that. I'm sure like they're so rich that they just buy and sell, and they probably make profit because equity and stuff. I mean, I'm sure the more property you buy, who cares? I'm sure they just don't care.
Yeah.
But it is kind of crazy.
I remember watching some documentary about like when Jeremy Lin was had the whole Linsanity thing.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't making any money, and he didn't know if they were going to cut him, so he slept on Landry Fields' couch.
What?
Who played
he couldn't afford an apartment or something?
Well, because it was on that 10-day contract, and he wasn't on a G League team, so he just didn't know if he was going to play.
That is crazy.
So he was just scoring 30 or 40 and just sleeping on this guy's couch.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
But nonetheless, so we missed some games, lots of ups and downs for the Lakers in the past 2 weeks. We're just going to go over some of the important games. I know we had a couple blowouts on both. Well, we did get blown out, but I think the way you and Tyler and I left off was the Wizards game, which we ended up losing in overtime. Your boy Bradley Beal went off.
That game was tough to watch. Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah. Westbrook had a really good game too.
LeBron missed a free throw. We would have won. I mean, are we surprised though? Guy can't shoot free throws. It's never gonna change. He's just an absolutely terrible free throw shooter. That's not gonna change. I think we just need to accept it.
We don't know why, and he can't answer for it. There's no answer.
It's just weird because he can lock in in every other facet of the game. If he needs to lock in defensively, he can. If he needs to start hitting shots, he gets in that rhythm. If he needs to take over a game, passing, he can. He can do everything else, but for some reason, when he steps on that free throw, he can't focus. It's weird.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
Yeah, it's a focus thing. I don't think it's confidence at all, but I guess he's just thinking about the next play or the last play or something like that. But yeah, we saw a big game from Trez. He had 26 and 9. Mm-hmm. KCP had 21. This was the first game I was our firepower is just not consistent without AD right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's we need two other guys besides LeBron to be in the 20s to lose by 3.
Yeah.
And to expect that from KCP and Trez, it's not going to happen very often.
Yeah, and I think what we found out over these games without AD is that the reality of the situation is we are not going to be able to win a championship without AD. He is, I actually tweeted this, but he is the key to winning a championship. LeBron isn't. And the reason I say that is because you look at the matchups against the Clippers, against the Nets, which are the two other teams that are going to contend with the Lakers. It's just the reality of the situation right now. I don't want to hear. I said this in a tweet too. I don't want to hear about Ibaka. AD will eat him for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They don't have answers for him. They really don't. The Nets, Blake Griffin's undersized. He's not going to be able to stop him. That's not the answer for AD. Whatever his name is, DeAndre Jordan cannot guard AD. And that's one thing. The other thing is just in general, you are finding out right now that the Lakers are not the Lakers without AD.
Yeah, it's sad.
We just aren't. So
it's kind of scary too. It's it's putting all of that weight on one person who's proving to be pretty fragile.
I know.
Plus, he just falls down a lot. Every time he falls, you're like, oh god.
And he always has a little nagging injury, like,
Right.
every game. So, it definitely is scary, but we got to just... Hey, he's taking the time off. We're being cautious. That's good. So, let's just hope for the best.
Yeah, I think until we can get some players around us that we can feel more confident in, like on a more solid core. Because think about it, the past 3 years, our team is changed pretty drastically as far as like the core group of guys. And until we can get we're not gonna have it for I don't think another 3 or 4 years. Like when LeBron retires, it's gonna be a whole different can of worms.
Yeah, for sure.
And the Lakers have been like that. Lakers have been like that in the past 20 years. Well, I guess until those championship runs 2012 was the last time, and then before that we had a consistent team where it's only 4 or 5 players changed, but the past 8 years has just been all over the place, so it'll be interesting to see what happens towards come playoff time, but we're gonna have to really fight.
We're gonna need everyone healthy. I think that is. I know everyone says that. Everyone needs to be healthy, but you saw with Schroeder out too, how that hurt us.
Yeah.
I mean, with Schroeder out, that was a huge loss for us, and not even just offensively is what you first think of. Defensively, it hurt us. He's a good defender. He's proven he's Vogel's guy to guard the Steph Currys, in the first round or whatever, and all those guards. He's kind of Vogel's guy, and you don't have that point. He's our point guard, dude. When you don't have that, I know LeBron's kind of our point guard, but Schroeder's that other point guard that can take the pressure off LeBron, and that's so important. And you saw what happened when LeBron went out and we didn't have Schroeder and AD. No one knew what to do. We had no offense, dude. It was painful to watch. So we really found out a lot over these games, and I'm telling you, dude, I know it's very simple, but it's really just going to come down to, can we just be fully healthy coming into the playoffs? That's what it's going to come down to.
Absolutely. So let's move on. Just got obliterated by the Jazz.
That was, whew.
I think they made...
How many threes did
they made? 22 threes.
Ridiculous. That's
22
ridiculous.
3-pointers.
But I will say, okay, it's ridiculous, but at the same time, they were tearing us apart, and our rotations were horrendous. They were getting open shots. Right. So, I'll say that it wasn't just one of those nights where it's when we played the Spurs, earlier this year, maybe that's not a good example, but I feel like that was a game where we had better rotations and they were just on fire. This game though, they were getting wide open shots. Yeah. So that's a defensive issue. But it was tough to watch. They absolutely destroyed us, but I don't know. I guess the Wizards game I was more upset about just because the Jazz without Schroeder and AD. Yeah. I was kind of expecting to get. I mean, didn't we talk about it? We said they would get blown out. I think I said that. The Wizards game we should not have lost. There's no excuse. So
it scares me how the Jazz are probably the best team in quotes. They play the best team basketball.
Oh no, yeah.
I think, dude,
team basketball.
They have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players that can shoot the three.
I think more than that. I think they have 7 because they have that other guy, whatever his name, that comes off the bench. Not Clarkson, the other guy.
I look at George Niang, Joe Ingles,
he can shoot.
Clarkson, Conley, Mitchell, Bogdanovich, and Royce O'Neal. All of them are
knockdown.
If it's open, they're gonna shoot it, and they just pour in points.
And they assist really well. Good, a lot of team assists. They move the ball. Yeah, they're really well coached. I like Quinn Snyder a lot. I think he's a great coach.
So they're a scary team. But yeah, it's just. I think the effort was the most disappointing part of that game for me.
Agreed. Agreed.
Because even though players are hurt, it doesn't mean you try less.
Yeah.
It's
totally. Yeah. I mean, even Mark Jackson kind of touched on this, and I'm not a big Mark Jackson fan, but he was listen, coming in this game, we all kind of expected the Jazz to put it on to the Lakers, but this bad is pretty unacceptable. And
Yeah.
you know, that was the one thing about this game. Yeah, like it to me, like I was kind of expected, but like it was like, you know, when like that meme that's like our expectations were low,
Yeah.
but or something. I don't remember how it
just
goes.
like goes lower than that.
Yeah, or something like that. It's like that's how I felt with that game.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yep. It was funny seeing Clarkson just
I used to love
always
him
one of my favorite players, man.
Yeah.
What a shame.
I really saw potential in him, man. I would have loved. I know we had to end up getting rid of him to open space, but man, if we could have just somehow kept him, he's a guy we really would have benefited. Imagine him coming off the bench with Trez, dude. That'd be insane, dude. We'd be so much better. Our bench would be amazing. Like,
I mean, he doesn't do anything else. He scores like 20 a game, and he has 0 on the other side. But I don't even care.
Who cares? Like, he just has that natural 20 talent. Points. Yeah.
Okay, but let's move on to. So we kind of picked it back up, right when Schroeder came back.
So what was the next game? Was it the Blazers?
Mm-hmm. Blazers.
That was a great one. We looked like the Lakers again, and that was without AD. Yeah. Our defense was great.
To be fair, that McCollum's out and Nurkic is out too.
True. But AD's out for us, which is a huge loss. I really liked how he played Lillard. I think he started off really hot, if I remember correctly, but like second half, man. Like, and that's when Lillard Dame time. Like, we shut down Dame time, dude.
Yeah.
I thought we played him really well. We had a good game plan. I've noticed Vogel's very good with playing guards, like all-star guards. Like, do you remember James Harden in the playoffs? Like, we played him. We did that like high double. I don't know if you remember what I'm talking about. Where like we'd bring a double, like once Harden gets the ball and he's like at the top of the key, we bring a double and force someone else to beat you. But like we force the pass like super like high up. Mm-hmm. So by the time Harden throws it, it gives us time to recover, if that makes sense. So I think Vogel's really good. Like, I trust him to, like, I mean, Lillard too, even in the playoffs last year. He did a really good job with him and Harden. So I noticed that in that game. Really good defensive scheme.
Yeah. Totally. I think, this is just a routine, like what I talked about in previous podcasts, like just get back to Lakers basketball. Those streaks we have where it's like, okay, we need to kick our butts back into high gear. And that's kind of what we did. And
what were the stats on that game?
Yeah, so Lillard ended up having 35.
Okay,
but he has to
he's
carry.
He's going to do that, yeah.
Yeah. Your second leading scorer is Gary Trent, and you only play 9 guys.
Exactly.
Surprise!
The fourth quarter, we shut him down. That was what was important. Yeah.
Well, in the third and the fourth combined, they only had 36 points.
There you go.
So second half D was amazing, and it could have been even a bigger blowout, but we both only scored 17 in the fourth. Which is...
I remember that. Like, both teams were struggling to score at the end.
Yeah.
I remember that, yeah.
But Schroeder, really nice return, 22 points.
Beautiful.
LeBron, just your classic. You could just plug this number into any LeBron game, and I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. 28, 11, and 7.
Every game, dude. Literally every game. The most consistent, like 20. He never gets 30, dude. He always gets like high 20s. It's the funniest thing. And always like high assists.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny, dude. Oh my god.
Caruso had a good game, 10 and 6 on 30 minutes, which was cool. Trez, 17 and 9. Kuzma's rebounding, dude. So impressive.
Yeah.
Let me check his... I wanted to see his last, 10 rebounds. Hold on one sec. So, game log. They make this so difficult. Okay. Where are we? Sorry, I'm just blowing it. Okay, here we are. So, I don't know what it was, but, they had that, he had like an interview like a couple weeks ago where he was just like, I just want to go get the ball. I just want the ball in my hands. And ever since then, this past month or the last 16 games, he's averaging, I think it's like 9.5 rebounds or something.
Yeah, he's really improved on that end for sure.
He's just eating glass. It seems like but it's almost like he's like trying to pad his stats a little bit. Like he'll go after like, he'll just take it from someone.
I like it though. That. I like it. I don't care, dude. I like the energy. We need that. We need that energy.
Yeah.
And offensive boards. I've loved that. That's something we need.
Yeah.
And like I thought coming into the season, Trez would kind of fill that that role, but like Kuzma's kind of done it, and I'm cool with that. I mean, listen, second chance points are huge. I mean, you look at, you know what just popped into my head? That Spurs Heat series where LeBron the tip out to Ray Allen for the, like, first of all, I don't want to get into this, but the Heat should not have won that. The Spurs desered that. That was ridiculous. Kawhi missed a free throw too.
Yeah.
But again though, it was that offensive tip out. Who? It was Bosch, right? Wasn't it Bosch? Yeah, like just coming in, and there was a mistake for the Spurs. I don't know, that was a huge mistake by Popovich. They took out Duncan for some reason. They needed his rebounding. Anyways, though, that effort that tipped the ball out literally won them a ring. Yeah. Like, it's those little plays. I mean, they're huge. So I could see Kuzma making a play like that in like deep into the playoffs, like Game 7, like Western Conference Finals against the Clippers, and like Kuzma, like, you know, goes in there and does one of those like tip outs, and we end up winning. You know, it's those type. That's why you need those players, the Carusos, the Harrells. So you know, I like this team. I think we have a lot of guys like that can do that. It's just kind of putting it together and being healthy come playoff time. Yeah, you know. So
I think what I just realized is like, I think he noticed that his scoring wasn't there so much. Mm-hmm. And he said, okay, maybe I'm not scoring. Maybe I'm not putting up the numbers that I should. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to control what I can control.
Exactly.
Right? And the scoring will come.
Exactly.
So he said, I know I can rebound the ball. I know I can put in that extra effort. So why don't I just do that? Mm-hmm. And at least do that. And then if the scoring comes with it, then Or maybe it'll take some pressure off my scoring. Or maybe it'll inspire me to, you know, score more. And that's what I think we're seeing happen in live time.
And not forcing it like he was kind of doing early. You know, you don't need to force it. Be aggressive, but there's a difference between being aggressive and forcing it. And I think he's realized, like, hey, maybe my role needs to change a little bit. You know, let me do some other things. I'm sure that was something LeBron, Vogel, like, they talked to him about. Or, I mean, maybe it was just something inside of him that he was like, I need to make this change. But it's definitely worked out for him. I'll keep saying this. I keep pushing Kuzma. I want him, not like he's listening to this, but I want him to still be more aggressive. I think he has an offensive arsenal that we could use on this team, and we need. We saw it in the Kings game a little bit, so I still want to see more from him offensively, just being a little more aggressive, like not forcing it, but like, I don't know, getting the ball sometimes and being like, you know, I'm going to take this guy and do a little post move or something. You know, he does those little, like, that good footwork. Let's see a little bit of that, you know, especially with AD out. So, but he's been playing. You know, I was ripping on him early in the season. I have to admit that, and
maybe he did hear
definitely. Maybe he did hear me.
No, I see what you're saying though. I've always wanted him to be like more, like, physically aggressive. Like I know you say aggressive, but like he does a lot of like he takes contact, but he doesn't go through people. He goes around, and he'll do like those little, like, floaters or
it's a good point.
Like fading away off the glass. Yeah. I like the finesse, and I do think he has it. Like, he has good touch sometimes, but I want to see him just like take
6'9". Yeah. Like, use your body. Like, he can body some, like, forwards, guards, like, body them, give them a little, you know, THT does that sometimes on drives. You know, I love that play where you kind of put your absorb the contact. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so.
Now that you brought up THT, I want to bring up THT because I felt like I gave him a little too much praise. I don't know why. He's a good player. He's becoming a good player, but his decision making the amount of times I've seen him like turn it over because he's trying to do too much. Just in like simple moves, like if he gets it at the 3-point line, he'll do like a crossover spin move, ball flies away out of his hand, and he's on the ground. Like
a little too much, forcing it a little bit. See, the thing. Okay, I think the thing we need to understand though is like that is his. Okay, his role is to attack. Like he's in there to that second unit to just basically like get a ball screen from Trez and just attack the hoop. Now, you need to manage that. You can't overdo it. And from what your point, he does that sometimes. Like, I hate to just say this, but like it is the truth. He's very young, and like that's why to me, like I think I still am very high on him just because he's 20 years old, and like it's hard for him. He's kind of been thrown into this role. Like we didn't really even know if he was going to be in the rotation, and he's been doing it. Yeah, do I think that he needs some coaching? I think on the defensive end he does. He is he ball watches. He's very late on rotations. To me, I see more issues on the defensive end that I think that he really needs to work on, especially in the offseason. And I'm a little worried in the playoffs that teams might expose him a little bit. So I'm a little worried about that, but I do see what you're saying. He needs to sometimes just slow down a little bit, and he gets a little too ahead of himself. That is a young thing, so I think that will improve over time. But he had a couple good games though. He had one game. Was it the Warriors or the Blazer game? One of those games he had like 7. He had a career high, right? No,
I think so.
I forget which game it was.
He had 11 against the Warriors.
Okay, then it was the Blazers, I think. He had like 17?
Let's see. Blazers.
Or
no, it wasn't that game.
Okay, well, there was one game he had like a really solid game. So it's not like he's
the Suns game. He had 16.
Okay, that's what I was thinking of, 16.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like, he's not like pulling a Wes Matthews. He's not just vanishing. That's someone we need to talk about. Maybe we should talk about that.
Well, let's talk when we get to
Okay, let's
I wanted to talk about the Warriors game because of a few things actually. A looked really good. Lakers won 7. Was up by 20 in the first quarter at the end of the first. Lakers 117, Warriors 91. Curry only had 16 points, which is almost unheard of. But then didn't he got like taken out or something?
Wait, who did?
Didn't Curry leave the game?
No.
Oh,
I don't think so.
I don't know what I was thinking.
You're thinking of, there was another game where he was like, he left. That was another. I don't think that was the Lakers. He like walked off gingerly or something.
Well,
I don't know if you're mixing it off.
He only played 26 minutes, so I guess it was just blowout stuff.
I think it was just blowout.
But overall, just a solid game. But what I wanted to bring up was Damian Jones' first game on the Lakers.
We need to talk about him. That's a good one to talk about. Yeah.
8 minutes, 8 points, 3 rebounds, making a statement in his first appearance as a Laker. What do you think as far as him,
to be completely honest about him, I like him a lot, and I think, but the reality of the situation is I think we're going for Whiteside or Drummond. I think we're waiting on Drummond there was just a report that came out today that was like Lakers are hopeful that Drummond will sign with them if he does get bought out. He has to get bought out. If he gets traded, we're screwed. But I don't know if someone wants to take on 27. I think it's 27 mil a year. So I don't know if a team wants to take that contract on. But they could pull like an Iguodala, which is what happened with the Grizzlies. But anyways, my point is, I think he's kind of our short-term plan to kind of fill that role and see what we can get out of him. So taking all that in, I think he's done very well. I think the Kings game, I was expecting maybe a little more, but then again, this is a guy, remember, he's 25 years old, he's on a 10-day contract to a brand new team, knows nothing about the system, knows nothing, doesn't know any of the players. you can't really expect him to come in and just like blow our blow us out of the water. He did play really well in that Warriors game, and I think defensively he looked pretty good. He was blocking guys. He was moving his feet really well. He was in good position. He wasn't turning the ball over. He was setting good screens. I think we saw a lot of good things. It's a small sample size though. I want to see more. I think what Pelinka will do, he'll sign him to another 10-day. Because remember, buyout market, we can't sign until the end of the month. So I think we're going to sign Damian. Well, I promise you, we're going to sign him to another 10-day. And while we're kind of waiting to see, because the reality is if Whiteside gets bought out, Pelinka's going to sign him. Like, I promise you. And we're going to sign him for the rest of the season. But I think Drummond is our ultimate goal. So I think Damian Jones is kind of short-term problem solver right now.
Well, Drummond would surely be nice, but we can
I want
talk
him so
more about
bad,
that.
dude.
Yeah.
I want him so bad.
He's just a double machine. Eats the glass.
I'm buying a jersey if we sign him. Okay. So sick. A Lakers Drummond jersey. Come on, dude.
Yeah, that would be sick.
That's so nasty. I just think he would fill so many needs for us. And with the Nets signing Blake Griffin, I wanted to ask you. Well, maybe we'll talk about that after the break. But but anyways,
With that being said, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. I have a huge talking point for you as soon as we get back. So. We'll get to that in a second, but we'll be right back. Okay, folks, we're back with the 10th episode of the Lakers Lens podcast. Max, hate to say I told you so, Wesley Matthews.
Yeah, we're finally talking about him. Let's go.
3 points total in the last 6 games.
You were spot on about him, like, all season, and you never let up, like, your opinion on him, and you were right, dude. I think he played himself out of the rotation. Okay, so this is something I wanted to ask you. And if you guys agree with me or disagree with me, hit me up on Twitter. Do you think that Alfonso McKinney, at this point, should play the Matthews role, and Matthews should move to the end of the bench?
I mean, you know me, I might be biased, but
if you were Vogel,
I don't see why not. I mean, I think that Matthews is like the safer bet in terms of like basketball player. It's like if you're playing in the finals, like who are you gonna put in, McKinney or Wesley Matthews? But right now, why not? That's my thing.
I agree. I don't think it hurts at all. McKinney is 6'9", dude. I'd take that any day. He actually looked really good. He played way better than Wes Matthews in the Kings game. Way better.
Yeah.
He can shoot the ball. He's way more confident than Wes Matthews. Dude, there's no reason to not do that at this point. If McKinney looks awful, okay, dude, like, you're deep enough to just pull him. But, like, dude, like, he's not, like, McKinney's played big minutes before. When he was on the Warriors, like, he was nice. I say, why not? 6'9" over a 6'4", like, undersized guy that, like, is just can't even. McKinney also looks just overall defensively looks way better. So I think Vogel's seeing that. I don't know. I would love to get McKinney some minutes here in the second half of the season. I would love to see it.
Why not, personally. Dude? I feel like we're a little, like, the management is a little embarrassed, probably.
Probably. Yeah.
They're like, let's just keep giving Matthews a chance. Like,
because they're like, he's got to have one good game, and he only had one game against the Spurs, right?
And everyone came back to me. They said, Matt, you were wrong. You were wrong. I said,
one game. That was it.
Just give me a second, dude. It makes me so mad when he does the arrow thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, he hasn't been doing it recently, apparently, because he hasn't scored in 6 games.
It's gone to his head at this point, dude. He's so scared to shoot. Like, he passed up a wide open 3, or was it a wide open layup? I don't know. Something was wide open, and he passed it up in the Kings game. That was weird, dude.
he's devolved into a three and sort of playing D player. Like the older players get, the more they just sit behind the 3-point line. And he's not making the threes. So what are you doing? You know?
And he can't play defense.
He had a couple good defensive games against like tough players, but
dude, you're gonna put him on Kawhi, like destroy you. Or like Jordan Clarkson, like who's gonna guard? Like, I mean, I guess Caruso, but it's like, dude, you start looking when you get in the playoffs, like he's not gonna have minutes, man. It's just the reality of it. Like he's not gonna have minutes. I'm so glad I just looked it up. We only signed him to a 1-year deal. For some reason, I thought we signed him to 2 years. Whew. Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
I think Pelinka's a little embarrassed at this point.
Who?
You know, it's like our management or ownership. Like, it's got to be embarrassing to sign a player and like you're like, oh, this is gonna be our 3 guy, and he just can't do anything.
Oh, and we signed him early too. Like I don't know, and we signed him to a pretty nice contract if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bad move. But
speaking of contracts, you really quickly want to touch on how we're paying Luol Deng right now?
We still paying Luol Deng for 2 more seasons, folks. Laker Nation. This is absurd. This guy's on an island in freaking Hawaii, just chilling, getting paid by Genie Bus. I mean, this is absurd, man. Mitch, you can thank Mitch Kupchak for some of the worst contracts in NBA history, dude. Like, it's crazy, man. I'm trying to look up. Oh, Luol Deng is the 6th highest paid Laker on their books this season, and he'll be there next season too. Like, are you kidding me, dude? What? What are we doing, dude?
NBA game he played was.
I feel like we've been paying him for like a decade, dude. How long? What kind of contract did he sign? Like a 10-year contract?
The last game he played was in 2018.
3 years he's been, but it wasn't. Didn't he go to another team, or was it?
Yeah, he played for the Timberwolves, and we were still paying him.
Oh my!
I don't get that.
Oh my god!
Yeah, what was the contract?
I don't remember.
It was
huge.
4 years, $72 million.
Oh my!
So.
And Timothy Mozgov. I remember that too. When we signed him, it was literally at like 12 o'clock when like free agency dropped. He was the first signing. Like, you know what Dragic was the first signing this year? Like, I remember it was like we couldn't like even wait. It was like Kupchak was like, I need to sign this guy. First signing was like he was grabbed out of all the players, dude.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Just throw all of our money at Timothy Mozgov.
And we maxed him. Like, not even hesitation, just here's a max contract. Like, you were that good. Like, oh my god, dude.
Just embarrassing.
Anyways, we can move on.
But yeah, let's move on to the Suns game.
Ooh, that was a weird game with the Booker ejection.
Yeah, Booker got ejected, but we lost by 10. Yeah, dude, like, we just got eaten alive by Dario Saric at 21-5. Scored like 6 straight possessions. Chris Paul didn't really do anything. It's kind of a floor general. 8, 10, and 5. Booker had 17 before he went out. Ayton had 17. Their whole team kind of spread it out. Bridges had 19. Jay Crowder had 15. LeBron had 38. Keith had 12. Schroeder had 17. THT had 16. But just no firepower for us, man. It was just...
They were locked in, the Suns. Like, I don't know if you noticed that game. Like, down the stretch, dude, when Booker went out, it almost, like, pissed them off. Like, they were, like... You know when that sometimes happens with teams where it's, like, something happens, like an injury or something even, and it, like, motivates you, and it's like, we got to play for this guy. I think they were mad about the Booker ejection because it was kind of a soft ejection. Yeah. And, dude, they were locked in defensively. They were on a string. They were rotating. Like, I mean, I was pretty impressed. I really like Monty Williams. The Suns annoy me, to be honest. I love Devin Booker. Everyone else on that team is the most annoying player, dude. Like, Mikal Bridges, like, I want to punch him in the face. Chris Paul, I don't want to go on a rant about him, but I can't stand Chris Paul. I think he's a dirty player, whatever. I have a whole thing to talk about him. But, Jay Crowder, I can't stand. I think he's a little dirty. But the reality is they played really well. They moved the ball well. They just played as a team, defensively and offensively, and they just wore us out. That was kind of the reality of it.
I think the whole, like, the game plan changes when your main scorer is out.
Yeah.
And it just kind of gives everyone that doesn't get the ball a lot more confidence.
Yeah.
Because, like, Booker's out now. Bridges is going to put up 19. Crowder's going to shoot more threes. You know, all these other guys that are just going to play, and then it kind of just, you know, added up for them. And
it's like that.
Couldn't handle it.
It's like that mindset of, like, okay, our best scorer just went out. Okay, what do we do now? Right. Lock up defensively. That's what we can control. We can't put points in the we can't fill that void of losing Devin Booker, who's one of the most premier offensive talents in this league. But what we can control is on the defensive end, creating offense from our defense. And I think that's coaching. I think Monty Williams, I'm telling you, he told him that in one of the timeouts after Booker went out. And with Chris Paul as a leader, they were locked in defensively. And, LeBron, I feel bad. He had 38, but it wasn't enough, man. It wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough.
Yeah.
God, I mean, there's only so much you can say. It's like, we miss AD. That's about it.
Yep, exactly.
Now, if we were losing these games with AD, then we'd have a whole different mindset to this conversation.
True. And I don't think we would have. I really don't.
But we can talk about a game like the Kings game, for example.
Yeah, let's talk about the Kings.
No LeBron. So, I mean, just the roster looks disgusting without both those players. No offense,
it
dude.
Does.
But, like, starting lineup, KCP, Schroeder, Damian Jones, Keith, and Kuzma.
That is a bad line.
Yeah. But, I mean, we put up a fight, right?
There's something I want to touch on this game that's eating me alive, and I've been wanting to talk about this on the podcast.
Okay, let me do this.
Yeah, go through that, and then I want to touch on this.
So, for the Kings, kind of Buddy Hield's night. He had 29. Swipe of the Fox at 23 and 8. They only played 8 guys. Harrison Barnes had 20. Bagley 14. Corey Joseph 13. And then on our side, kind of what you expected from Kuzma, 25 and 13. Could have been 30. Schroeder had 28. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Trez had 26. But, like, what do you expect? Someone's got to score the
someone's
basketball.
Got to score, yeah.
McKinney had 11. That's nice to see. THT had 9. Guess who had 0? And Keith had 11. But yeah, what did you want to say?
So, well, first of all, before I go into that one, that kind of sucks that Trez thought, I think there was less time on the clock, and we had a layup. We should have won that game.
Dude.
But the bigger thing that really bothered me. So the NBA has been kind of under a lot of, I don't know the right word, hate because of the referees right now. There's a lot going on with that. Okay, second quarter. Buddy Hield clearly steps on the line, shoots a 3. Clearly, they count it a 3, folks. They count it a 3. His foot is clearly on the line. Spectrum is showing it. It's on the line, right? Okay, normal process in the NBA. Next dead ball, I think so the process is, I think, New York, or is it New Jersey or whatever.
Yeah, New Jersey.
Reviews it, calls down, says, okay, this is a 2, subtract a point. Normal process. Happens every game. I watch it all the time.
Yeah.
What happened, dude? They never changed it. Are you kidding me? That's BS, man. And so Vogel asked about it, and they asked, and he talked about it in the postgame. Their excuse was, by the time the replay center reviewed the play, they had run out of time to change it.
For what?
So I guess the thing is there's a time limit on, like, I don't know what it is, but there's a time limit on like, basically, like, in this amount of time you have to make these changes. If it goes past that time, you can't do anything.
Wow.
So I guess, okay, but it's like, okay, that's the NBA's fault. Someone messed up here. How can we all see it on TV? That's a clear 2. And guys, remember, we lost by 1 point. This game should have gone into overtime. What are we doing? This looks terrible on the NBA. This looks just, I mean, this is horrible. If I'm a new person coming in the NBA and I watch this and I see them talking about it on Spectrum, I'm like, wait, that's not fair. How is that fair? That's BS. That's on the NBA, and I don't get why, like, the Lakers haven't, like, written to the NBA and tried to, what is it called, where you
appeal it?
Appeal it, or whatever it's called. That is BS, man, and that infuriates me because that's on the NBA, and that's just a choke. So because someone was talking to their girl instead of doing their job, working in New Jersey, and didn't review, where we can all see it. It's over the internet. It's on TV. How can you not change that? It blows my mind, dude. Like, that blows my mind. Yeah, it's either rigged or, like, just some alien is running the control center. So, I don't know. That infuriated me, man. That's so uncool, so unfair. And they need to be held accountable for that. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, I definitely think there should be. So, and then on top of that, what you were saying about, like, what's going on in the league, when there was a lot of bad stuff, like that Sixers, I forget who they played.
Oh, the Jazz. And Donovan Mitchell was like, he almost assaulted that guy. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He knocked down the Gatorade thing and it, like, hit that guy just chilling there.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
No, but it was kind of a cool thing I saw on Twitter. Like, someone was saying they should make the refs do post-game interviews and make them answer questions.
And fine them.
Right. Or maybe that's replace them. But yeah. Put the best ones in the games. I guess, like, they probably do have the best of the best right now, but it just needs to, like,
there needs to be a change.
Soft.
Yeah, I agree.
Soft.
This was the other one. Trez got a technical for yelling and one. Not even looking at the ref. Like, I maybe get it if you, like, go up to the ref and say and one and yell. Okay, that's a little vulgar. That's a little extreme, aggressive. Yeah. He first of all, he says it every time he shoots, and all around the NBA, I saw a compilation of guys yelling and one and not getting texts of, like, for like an hour, dude. That is ridiculous, man. Like, that ref needs to be held accountable. Mm-hmm. So
I think a big part of what's going on is the lack of fans, like the noise.
It's a good point.
The more quiet it is, you can hear everything, and it sounds, like, more harsh, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And then there's also no one to, like, boo the refs. Like, if it's a Lakers home game and they make a bad call or something or a tee, no one's gonna boo because it's just that player screaming in your face. Which they're probably paying more attention to. But either way, like, just let the guys play. I mean,
I know, it's been frustrating. And these stupid foul calls where people are, like, initiating contact on offense, like the Trae Youngs, the Hardens that are, like, jumping into players and getting fouled. That Schroeder call, I don't know if we talked about that, where, like, Curry just elbowed him and they reviewed it and still called. Dude, this is ridiculous, man. There was the same exact play, I think, in, like, the next game on Schroeder, and they called it offensive or something. Just, like, it's inconsistent, and I get it. You're not going to get everything right. But the fact that you go review that, like, that's a BS call, dude. Curry's initiating that. So
I will say I like that they implemented that sweeping rule where it's on the ground when they do the sweep, which I like because that was super annoying too.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go. I've just been watching this last sequence, which was so sad for Trez.
Yeah.
Schroeder was kind of going off at the end. Like, he scored, like, 4 buckets in the last couple minutes.
Yeah.
But little teardrop floater. Trez gets the rebound, and he just...
He rushed it, dude. Like, he rushed it. It
just
was weird.
rushed it. He had 4 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah,
and
he could have just, like, easily just laid it in. I don't know what he was doing.
And then at the end, Kuzma had a good look, honestly. You know, for 1.3 seconds. And it just came up a little bit short.
You know, something my dad always taught me this. Like, for that example, Trez thought there was less time on the clock. Mm-hmm. When there's a play, you should always, when there's like 10 seconds, you should be counting in your head. So when you're playing, you're still counting the timer in your head. So Trez would have known 4 Mississippi, 3 and he could have got it and just laid it in easily. But he thought there were maybe 1 second. He tried to rush it, and we lose the game. So,
you know what I think about a lot, and this is super random, but like we've both been to NBA arenas. There's not like a big scoreboard that players can see. Is there one under the big thing?
Above the hoop, you can see the clock.
Yeah, but I feel like that's kind of small, don't you?
Yeah, and then there's usually the jumbotron, and then usually like on the top of the stands. You know how they have like that little like thing. No. I know you're saying it is kind of like difficult. I think.
Right. And you have to like break your neck.
You got to kind of look up.
Stands.
But you should be looking at the one above the hoop. That's what will help you. You know.
Right.
But yeah.
Yep. So.
But all right.
Two tough losses in a row.
Yeah.
But let's move on to. Well, okay. I don't know if you want to talk about All-Star Weekend, but did you watch it at all?
I did.
All-Star Day.
I did. That was fun with Lillard and Curry. They're just out of their minds, dude. It's ridiculous. They shoot from half court like it's nothing, dude. Like, what?
That was insane.
Giannis 16 for 16.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. Like, I told my parents, I was watching with my parents, and I was like, well, yeah, he's not shooting anything outside from under the basket.
Yeah.
And he just banked a 3 right after that.
I know.
And I was like, all right, I'll shut up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think...
LeBron didn't play a lot, which I was happy about. He didn't play the second half.
Yeah, he said he didn't want to play a bunch.
Yeah. I'm fine, dude. He needs the rest. I don't care.
Yeah, he's old. It's like he's just having fun. It's just a fun day. I wanted to ask what you thought about and I can't remember this. I didn't remember. I guess it was happened for the past couple of years, but like the fourth quarter, like you play to a certain point. You like that?
I'm not ready for that to like be a change into like the NBA or anything. I'm fine with how it is now. I think it's cool though that they're experimenting with these things in All-Star Weekend. I think they should keep doing that. But I'm not ready yet for a change. Like there's nothing that's like bothering me where I'm like, oh, like we should implement this. I think it's cool and I like it and I think they should keep experimenting. That's kind of my thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else can we talk about the All-Star game? Dunk contest, awful.
Terrible.
It's so sad to me. It's really so sad that ever since like Zach LaVine, and Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
It's not only that the dunks are worse, it's that nobody wants to do it.
Yeah.
It's all like rookies, and they're not even good rookies.
Yeah,
you know?
It's really bad. It's not like it used to be.
I don't know what happened. Like, why did it not get... I guess it's up to the players, like the best players, to do it.
Yeah.
But I guess they just don't want to get hurt or whatever it is.
Yeah. 3-point I enjoy better, personally. 3-point contest.
Well, yeah, it's funny that they all do that, but they don't do the dunk contest.
Yeah. Curry was... He's so good, man.
Well, Conley almost won.
I know. But Curry had that last shot.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I would literally sell my soul for Curry to play with the Lakers and LeBron. That would be... He's free agent in 2022, dude.
I don't like him as much as you, honestly.
What? Dude, he's the best shooter of all time.
No, I know. I don't like him.
Oh, like for the Lakers? Oh, as a person.
Like
okay, bro. Why?
I think he's annoying.
Really?
Yeah, he's just like I know he's like a lot bigger than me. Like He's like 6'2" or whatever. Like probably he's pretty jacked, cut. But when I see him play, I'm like, I just think of him as like this little guy, like this like pesty, annoying, like does all these shimmies and stuff.
Oh, he'd be annoying to play against for sure.
Yeah. I don't know why. No.
That's totally fair. Yeah.
Like you look at Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously on the team, I would be happy, but
it would just be so nice.
Yeah. I don't think he'll leave. I mean,
yeah, I don't think he will either. Nah.
Plus Clay coming back. But let's talk about. I think this is our first. So I guess technically our first game is on Friday, which is weird. Coming back from the break, we're playing the Pacers, which I think is our first matchup, right?
Yeah, on Friday.
Kind of an interesting team. Kind of expect that to be a win, but hey, Sabonis is an all-star, right? They got some solid. They got Malcolm Brogdon, Miles Turner, Dougie McBuckets, who's a scorer.
I've always felt like the Pacers are underrated, but it just, for some reason, it just seems like they've always been missing something though. Like I just. Yeah. And it might just be like, I like Sabonis a lot, and I don't know, they got a good supporting cast, but like I think it's just maybe they need that like that star, and right. Sabonis, not that he's not a great player, and wait, they have Karis LeVert now, don't they?
But he's still coming back from his cancer. I'm actually really curious to see how he looks out there. I think that'll be a fun. I love Karis LeVert, but I don't know. I think that's a game we should win. I'm pretty confident we'll win that game. I think I'm really going to be looking I feel like I say this all the time, but I'm really going to look for Schroeder to really to take. I don't know if you noticed this, but I've noticed lately he's kind of like, I feel like he's being more aggressive. Like he's kind of just I think he's getting more comfortable. I think that's what I'm trying to find. Yeah. Like he's getting a little more comfortable in his role, and you're starting to see that. Like I feel like he's taking more shot attempts. He's being more aggressive. He's limited the turnovers a little bit. He still makes those stupid ones every once in a while, but I don't know. Overall, I think he's starting to fit in with the team. And this is what I would have hoped, because I was a little worried with the turnovers. I was like, yeah, like I think it's just because it's a new team and it's hard. He doesn't have any chemistry, but I think he's starting to like play better with LeBron, and like they're starting to figure each other out. So I think he's a player that can really expose the Pacers. Miles Turner's a beast. Yep. So he's going to cause some issues down low, but I still think Schroeder can get into that paint and pull up for that 15-footer. I think that's something I'm looking for him. So what do you think about that game? I totally agree. I think Pacers can kind of come out in spurts, but I think we'll be able to handle them pretty easily. I'm worried down low about Turner and Sabonis, but other than that, I think I'm looking for Schroeder, I'm looking for Kuz, and I'm looking for someone underneath them. Caruso, THT, Damian Jones, somewhere in that lower tier. Yeah. To step up a little bit and see what goes down off the bench. But I know we're short for time here. Yeah. And then let's just cover the Warriors-Lakers next Monday, a week from today. Mm-hmm. Curry probably going to play better. Let's just say that now. Yep. Can we contain him? Can we contain Oubre, Wiggins? Is it going to be another blowout, Max? It will not be a blowout. It's going to be a very tough game. The Warriors are streaky. They can really come out and battle with basically anyone. Still going to pick the Lakers. I'm picking us going 2-0. 2-0. I like us. I don't know. I'm feeling like it's weird. Even after that Kings loss, I still feel, I don't know. I think I'm seeing guys play a little more with a little more confidence. So I'm gaining a little confidence in this team. So I'm feeling good. I think a little break is what we needed. I think that's another thing. So this break is really good for us. It's something we needed. We were a little gassed. Right. So I think we're going to come back a little fresh. Yeah. Good time for nagging injuries to kind of heel, toes, fingers, stuff like that.
For sure.
Okay, that's pretty much our breakdown for the week. We're trying to keep it under an hour these days. But quick hot take with 2 minutes to go.
Should we talk about the big news today?
Big news. What are we thinking?
Blake Griffin has officially signed with the Brooklyn Nets. I know Matt is a big
Chris Paul couldn't come to the Lakers.
Yeah, I know. Matt's a big Blake Griffin fan. He wanted the Lakers to sign him.
I'm not really a huge fan.
Well, you wanted the Lakers to grab him, though.
I was just saying he likes LA. He's a comedian. Yeah. He likes the late night shows. But hey, he sold out. He sold his soul for.
He's trying to win. Nets. I want Andre Drummond so bad. We talked about this earlier. I don't really care about the Blake. I think if Blake Griffin, if Andre Drummond can get bought out and Lakers can attack him and get him, we are better than the Nets. I said it. If the Lakers get Drummond, we are... Okay, wait, hold on. We are way better than the Nets. With Blake Griffin and healthy AD and LeBron, we are better than the Nets. You heard it here first. Laker fans out there, Matt's giving me a look. I do not care. With a healthy LeBron and AD in the playoffs, we are better than the Brooklyn Nets. When we are locked in defensively, Vogel is one of the best defensive-minded coaches. We are better than the Nets. With Andre Drummond, we are way better than the Nets, and we will win a championship if we get Andre Drummond. And that's how I'm going to end this tonight.
Okay, well, we have 10 seconds. Guys, make sure you follow us on Instagram at Lakers Lens Podcast, and Twitter at Lens Lakers. Yeah. We got to go right now. Goodbye.
Bye.